All right. For over 60 years, The Sound of Music has been a family favorite on stage and, of course, on screen as well too. The tour is coming to Chicago to Broadway in Chicago, October 21st through November 2nd. Kevin Earley plays the role of Captain Von Trapp in the national tour. He's a Chicagoan, and welcome back home.
I'm so excited to be home. I have so many family members there. I have so many friends that I haven't seen for quite a while, and it's always great to come home and be able to do a show like, especially like this.
Can you talk a little bit about that anticipation? You get this national tour. You know Chicago's going to be a stop. I mean, does everyone start texting of like what night they're going to come see you?
Absolutely. I have a calendar spreadsheet that's just involving family and friends that are coming, and it really is touching and wonderful. The anticipation of it is even more exciting because I'm sort of like trying to pace myself to have a really great run in every city that we go to, but really specifically Chicago just for my family and my friends, and I'm also trying to get time to spend with family and friends while I'm there, which is even nicer. And you just got to work out the whole logistics of it.
And you will. You're here for a nice, 2 week period, so you'll have plenty of time to make all those things happen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the show. Obviously, multi-generational. So many families have grown up on it, especially, it's not necessarily a holiday movie, but a lot of people think about, the stage production, the film, around the holiday time, and talk a little bit about, getting to see those faces in the audience that, really cherish this and make it a yearly tradition.
The audience is varied from as you said, generation to generation, and it's really fascinating to see some people in their 30s or 40s, maybe even 50s, who haven't seen the live version of it, who just have never it's just never come across, they've seen it, and it's been around for 65 years, and that is an amazing testament not only to the quality of its storytelling, but the quality of the music. The Rodgers and Hammerstein score is just it's phenomenal, and every single song in this show is a hit, and I think audiences really enjoy that. The young audiences, just their eyes are beaming, and they're following the story, and they're getting all the little innuendos and jokes, and especially with the kids on stage. As soon as the kids don't come on for a little bit into the show, and then as soon as they do, they see themselves up there, which is so, it's so astonishing to watch that through a child's eyes, and to get to talk to them afterwards. I don't get to see them, in the audience, but to talk to them afterwards, and really see just their wide eyes, just like you were up there, and these kids that are my age were up there, and doing that and telling this wonderful story. So it is wonderful.
And obviously, there's that connection because as a young boy, you played Kurt in the show, and then coming back to it,
I
at,
did.
at this point, I mean, talk a little bit about what you remember about that very first production that you were in.
Oh my gosh, it was such a great experience for me. And to be so young, and to work with such professionals up at the Marriott Theater, and really be able to sort of delve into this piece, and I only I only remember a couple of stories other than wearing the white uniforms, and one time I fell off the stage into the pit. Although the pit was like, it was in the rounds, it was like right there, and I fell in the timpani, and Joe Van Slyke just picked me back up and put me back on stage. I had a little cut on my leg, but I kept going. It's my first experience of, like, the show must go on, and really just keep going. And it really is it really is kind of full circle for me to come back and to be able to play the captain now, and bring it across the country at this time. It's kind of an extraordinary experience to have known this piece since I was a young kid, and to have experienced it in that way. And then I haven't done a production since, in any other capacity, and to kind of come at it from the young perspective, and then really come at it from this perspective, it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
What was your mindset when you saw this opportunity come about revisiting it and seeing it from a new lens?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I was really intrigued about Jack O'Brien and what he wanted to do with this. I know he directed this, 10 years ago, for the national tour, and now it's being sort of revised. So it's that same tour, but with a completely different cast and a completely different set of rules, which there are no rules. And that's been a great joy to sort of explore the captain's vulnerability and his rediscovering of the love for his children, and it's been a joy to work with Jack and Kaylee Capaldi and Christiana Noel and Nicholas Rodriguez and Kate Loprest and the entire all the children who are so fantastic. But to be able to really break it apart and say, okay, what if that's what if he's what if the what if the stern captain goes away quicker than it normally happens? What if he really is grieving that much for the loss of his wife, and what if the singing really brings him back? Not necessarily, in an instant, but wouldn't it be nice to see that sort of crack in him then and that vulnerability um shine through kind of like a real human. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, I've been through grief. Everybody's been through grief and everybody comes out of it differently, but you want to hope that Maria and the captain are going to have this amazing life together and not still be worried that he's, still coming out of this fog. Um, so it's really really fun to explore that and again work with this incredible group of children who all just every night, go out there and give it their all and their little smiling faces. And somebody pointed out to me, it's what's great is that the captain is I played Kurt, and Kurt is the one who gets taught by Maria how to do the Lindler dance, and then the captain teaches Kurt how to do the Lindler dance. So I was the little kid being taught by the captain how to learn the Lindler, and now I'm the captain teaching Kurt how to do the Lindler. So it's really kind of full circle, and it's a great moment for me on stage to do that with Ben. Yeah.
That is amazing. Let's talk a little bit about the dynamic with Kaylee, because obviously everyone is, it's the song, it's the stories, but it's also that relationship between Maria and the captain that we see. And talk a little bit about working with Kaylee on this tour.
Haley is she's fresh off doing the Titanic Celine Dion role up in London, and I think she did it in New York for a while. She's kind of fresh off of doing that. She has an amazing instrument. It's this soaring soprano with power, which is really what you love in that role, and I think it's what Mary Martin made so famous, straight off the bat on Broadway. And Kaylee has that in spades, but she's also done a terrific job in updating it and not making it, making it accessible to today's audiences and today's ear. Because it is one of those shows that's 65 years old, so the music can sound dated if you just go classic musical theater on it. But I think she has found, and I've kind of gone along with her, to find some straight tone in there, to find some, some energy that brings those songs to life once again, here 65 years later. But her acting style is also freeing and loving, and the way that first scene where she's teaching the children do re mi, it's just extraordinary to watch because she has such energy, and you really see that she loves children, and she just wants these kids to be happy, and uh,
Yeah.
and through music she brings that out in them.
And you mentioned Titanic, which is one of my all-time favorite shows, and you were in The Play That Goes Wrong, which is another one of my favorite shows
It's
as
so
well
great.
too.
I, I
Talk a little.
I saw Titanic in a friend of mine was in it in New York, and it was just so much fun. It's just
Yeah.
and Play That Goes Wrong, same thing. It's just silliness, so much fun, making fun of of everything under the sun and anything you want to, but also telling this sort of through line story that that a lot of people don't know about about Celine Dion and with Play That Goes Wrong, just sharing these backstage, antics or stories or things that, that can happen and have happened.
And have happened. Both of those shows I've left with like my face hurting because I could not stop laughing. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's probably just some comedic moments that the two of you and the crew and the cast get to have backstage, especially
Oh,
throughout the tour.
absolutely. One of our biggest joys is when an understudy goes on and we get to watch them, because it's early on in our run. So right now we're getting a lot of like this is the first time, like Dylan went on last night for Rolf for the first time, and just everybody's just screaming for him backstage after he finishes his dance or after he finishes his bows. It's that's really a joy. But we've found a lot of humor in the piece on stage with me and Kaylee as well, and I think it brings this humanity to it, and this sort of joy that you really want these two people to be best friends,
Yeah.
walking off into life and sharing their values, and I think through humor um, is one of the ways that we really explore that in this. Yeah.
And the final thing here too, as far as your mom's influence, you growing up in the theater, at a young age, and getting to see how shows resonate with families. I mean, how do you kind of think about that, especially on this tour where families are coming in there, and sometimes you might go to a show by yourself or with a partner or a friend, but this is one that like everybody loves it. So I'm sure it's like rows of family and friends and sisters and cousins and brothers, and everybody wants to go see it together. Just kind of the impact of theater, and especially maybe this production.
Well, Jack O'Brien said it best. He said what theater does to the soul is lasting. And what's great about it is that you're sitting next to strangers, even if you go alone or even if you're with your family, and somebody says something that's funny to you and you laugh, but the immediate thing that you do next is look to the person to your right or left to find out if they found it funny too.
Yeah,
And you share that. And there's no other other than going to a comedy club or even a concert, those are those live things are the things that you're not only sharing, the experience with what you're having up there with the cast, and the cast is sharing it with you, but you're also looking to the right and left and behind you and in front of you, and this is fun, right? This is, or touching, or I mean, I can't tell you how many people have told us that they cry at Edelweiss, or they cry when Maria and Von Trapp Captain get together. It's a touching story, um, in that respect, but it's that shared experience that you're always just a little bit looking to your right and left. Yeah, that was good, right? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and then it takes a life of its own, that because like if you can get them right off the bat all laughing together, then
yeah.
nobody's curious. Nobody's like, oh, I found that funny. I don't know about you. That's come on. We're all on for the ride here. And a piece like Sound of Music has done the book is written so well. The songs are obviously enjoyable, but the book on this, if and I think Jack has done a really terrific job of pulling it apart and going, okay, what if that's funny? What if that's not the serious moment that it's always been? What if that's embarrassment, or what if that's a letdown, like Elsa and the captain's breakup? Oh, they break up. Don't tell anybody. Um, what if it's
Spoiler. Yeah,
yeah, spoiler alert. What if it's more mutual? What if it's not like he's letting her down or she's letting him down, and somebody's, it's a great line that she has when she says, "You know what you do better here than we do in Vienna? Your sunsets. I'm going to miss them." And that's in one succinct line, she's saying, "I'm leaving, but thanks." And it's not mean, and it's not vindictive, and it's not sad. It's just the two of us, we tried. We weren't compatible. We gave it our best shot, and that sometimes happens. And we explored why would it have to be sending Elsa off, to to ruin, she's gonna be fine. She's gonna be
yeah,
absolutely fine. He's gonna be fine. Even if he doesn't, marry Maria, which he does. Um, why can't it just be, a little more humane and
yeah.
a little more human, is I think what we were kind of exploring in rehearsals. So yeah.
And especially too when you think about those types of relationships, and having such a wide audience and young kids kind of seeing themselves in what relationships should be like or what they should look like, and not everything has to
Yeah.
be dramatic. Sometimes two people can just drift apart, and that's okay, and that's a wonderful lesson that they
Yeah.
get to leave the show with, and hopefully take throughout their lives if that
Sure.
relationship
And
comes
and
to that
and
point.
and the breakup ends up being about politics, which is, a hot topic these days. And it's kind of like you go your way, I'll go my way, and let's hope humanity survives, and let's hope, I think they're both hoping for the best, but they're just going about it in different ways. But you still have to keep that humanity in mind, that you're not ignoring, the world at large. And I think that's the captain's perspective, is that he's seen, because he went through World War One, and now we're, approaching in this piece World War Two, which we don't know yet, but at the time, but he's seen it before, and that's I think one of the reasons he takes his family over the mountain is because he's seen more. He's seen what these kinds of people, and this is the beginnings of exactly what had happened in World War One. So, cautionary tale, as it were.
Yeah.
Uh, he's gonna take his family and make his own decisions. Each one is important to himself.
Exactly. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for your time today. October 21st through November 2nd, The Sound of Music at the Nederlander Theater, BroadwayInChicago.com for those tickets. Welcome back to Chicagoland. I hope you get to see all your family and friends, get to go all to your favorite restaurants, get to see everybody, and take in all that our city has to offer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for talking to me, Rudy.
Of course, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.